Welcome to another episode of Me, My Wife, and Sports. I'm your host, Fitz, with my lovely co-host, Darcy.
Hello.
All right. Summer is coming to a close.
Thank God.
And fall is creeping in, but there's still a lot of good sports, and especially in football. We love it. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick recap on the Paralympics. Overall, in medals, we came in third place, which China received first with 220 total medals. Great Britain, 124, who received second place. And the U.S., third place with 105 total medals, 36 gold, 42 silver, and 27 bronze. So congratulations to all our Paralympians and all that they did for the Olympics and still do moving forward.
Good, congratulations, yes, to all of those.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Congratulations. Well done.
Well, one of the big news stories right before the start of the NFL season, well, actually going into the first game, Tyreek Hill was pulled over near the stadium in his very, very expensive car. I don't know what it was. It looked like a Ferrari or something. I don't know. But he was pulled over by 3 Miami police officers. I think that was Dade County, I believe. I'm not sure. And it went viral, and people thought it was a little excessive. And based on the video that I saw, he was being very cooperative. But there were some comments saying that he was being a little mouthy in the beginning with the police, and also that he wouldn't leave his window down. And they were complaining about that. And, to a certain extent, I get it. Officer safety, you want to make sure, even if you identify the person as a celebrity or a sports figure, they still can do bodily harm. They're no different than any other human being with issues, or whether it pertains to the police or just another individual. So I get it, but did they really need to put him on the ground, cuff him?
Yeah, right.
Put a knee in the back, because it wasn't like he was really, really fighting. And there was a lot of video from bystanders, and even his agent got involved and other players. And as you know, a
lot of witnesses.
Yeah. And one of the officers was put on admin leave, which tells me, okay, something didn't go down like it should have been. So, and I think the lawyer for the police officer, which I think they identified as a 27-year-old veteran, is trying to fight it and get reinstated.
Well, now they say that the team released a statement saying that they hope the Miami-Dade Police Department takes swift and strong action against the officers who engaged in such despicable behavior.
Oh, wow.
So kudos to Miami Dolphins and their legal team and ownership and everybody for taking a stance and supporting Tyreek.
Because usually I say, well, we're just waiting to see what comes out the investigation type thing.
Right. But what I say to all our young athletes out there is a lot to take into consideration. I mean, if you're going to, what is your priority? So this happened in Florida.
Right.
Stand your ground state. We all remember Trayvon. What was his last name? I can't think of his last name.
Trayvon Martin?
Trayvon Martin. Yep. And that whole debacle. And then there have been several instances since that, and in between that and now Tyreek, against Black men in Florida.
Right. Well.
So when you signing your contracts and you picking your teams, if it's just about money, then it's just about money. And you take the good with the bad of wherever you're going. But if you're going to be socially conscious and aware, then these are the type of things that you need to look at.
Right.
Or you need to be sure that you're signing with a team, a company, an employer who, when something goes down and you're in the right.
And they have your back.
That they have your back.
Yep. Totally agree.
But if it's just going to be about the dollar and you chasing that dollar, then chase that dollar and the chips fall where they may. But in 2024, with everything that we've gone through as a country as a African American race, as a culture, people of color, period. And not just people of color, but a lot of other people as well.
Right.
These are things that you just got to be aware of.
Exactly.
Consciously make your decisions based on all the circumstances and not just the bottom line dollar, because people are at some point, this rush to send stuff viral and generate all of this social support, all of that's going to go by the wayside because Americans got short memories.
Yes, they do.
And eventually they're going to get tired and they're going to be like, well, if you don't like the rules in Florida, don't go.
Right.
Which is how I feel.
Right.
I ain't going, ain't spending my money in Florida. So take that, Mickey Mouse.
I don't know. Florida, not like in Disney that much.
It ain't great. They don't even like this. They don't even like Mickey Mouse. But then you would think that Mickey would come out of Florida.
Yeah. I think Mickey said they were
there first. Yeah, that's what they say.
They can outlast whatever government or leadership comes through, which they've done well fighting the man, as I call it. But I think I want to also put this in perspective that both Darcy and I are former law enforcement, so I look at both sides. Like I said, the safety of the officers by if they told them let his windows down and leave it down. But at the same time, once you identify that the situation is not as volatile or bad, as an officer, whether you're at the federal agent or the county or the local, you have to de-escalate any situation. And throwing somebody on the ground, putting your knees in their back for no one unjustly reason except that you don't like that the person, their words, or not answering every little question. And officers got to realize some questions are off limits and some questions are legit, like asking for ID to identify someone. But one example is when an officer asks, where you headed? I don't feel that's necessary. Has anything to do with a stop. And granted, Tyreek was stopped for reckless driving. And, so they should have got his ID, identified him, had the conversation, and either issue him a warning or a ticket. But at the same time, if you get stopped by the police, just comply. And if they do something out of line, most have body cams and folks are filming. Address it after fact. Don't escalate it to make it worse, because it's not a win-win situation when you do that.
Right.
That's just my tidbit on it. But as we were saying, I think it was a little overkill by the police when it came to handling the situation. And you got to realize, too, people get a little jealous of stardom, money, and all that good stuff.
Right. And, so many other things might have been in play. And I'm not saying that they are, but there are a lot of things that, I don't know, that was a sad situation, but we got to learn from these lessons because the names and faces are the only things that are changing. The mentality is still very much alive and out there.
Exactly. And this is, again, 2024. So, all right. So more to come on Tyreek.
And Tyreek plays tonight. So
yes, he does.
We thought that he would play angry last week, but I guess maybe he was still a little too distracted. So we'll see how he does tonight against Buffalo.
Right. Hey, I got a statistics for you. A statistic. And this one is dealing with the NFC Super Bowl titles by the divisions. NFC East, which includes Dallas, Philly, New York, and Washington. How many Super Bowls you think amongst the four? Best guess.
10.
13. You're pretty close.
I wasn't sure about Washington.
And
yeah. I could have said more because I forgot to add in the Giants. They had like 2 with Eli.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And NFC West, you have San Francisco, Seattle, the Rams, and Arizona.
We'll say that again. San Francisco. Who's in that?
Yes.
I only know my division. Anybody else's division, I have to look up.
You're taking a guess.
So who is it?
San Francisco.
Okay.
Rams, LA Rams, Seattle, and Arizona.
Okay, the Rams, Seattle.
And you know San Francisco has some titles.
San Francisco got a few. And they probably.
And Seattle.
I said Seattle first. The only people in
I think the Rams that might have
the
some.
Rams have some when they were in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But they were the St. Louis Rams, not LA Rams. But they were still the Rams.
Correct.
Who's the fourth?
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. I don't think they got any.
What's your best guess?
8.
She said 8. That is right. Very good. All right. NFC North, Green Bay, Chicago, Detroit.
Was this a test?
It is, and you're doing good. You're one.
You always want to put me on blast, don't you? Okay.
NFC North, Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota.
Green Bay. Who?
Chicago. Detroit. Minnesota.
Don't have to worry about Detroit. Minnesota. Oh, they probably got less. I would say that's probably about 7.
Close. 5.
Yeah.
NFC South, Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
I don't know.
You didn't know the other ones. Just give me your best guess.
10.
3. Because you know that conference ain't too hot. And Tampa Bay got theirs, I think, with Brady. I don't know if they had one before that. All right. And we all know Dak Prescott signed his 4-year deal for $240 million contract extension. All right. Now he just has to show us that he's worth it. And again, his stats are pretty good during the season, but we need that playoff run. I'll just be happy with a couple playoff wins. Don't have to go to the Super Bowl. Just win me a couple playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we just have to get the deal with Micah, and we'll be set. All right. All right, moving on to our fantasy look. So what's your take on how the fantasy season started off with the first go-round?
Well, in our fantasy league, I think it's going good. I think everybody's getting used to the changes that we made in our own league, but it's still too soon to tell. I don't think it was any real surprises or any real upsets the first week. Like, nobody came out. It wasn't no really big blowouts. I think the team that had like the highest points had like 47. I can't remember who they were though.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's still early. We did have several significant injuries, like I need my playbook.
She does a playbook to track her fantasy. She has some kind of formula which she won't share with me.
Oh, let's see. It was a couple people that got hurt and went out.
Well,
Injuries.
with the Dolphins playing tonight, and if you have your fantasy player on the Dolphins with Mostert, Raheem, who is in the backfield, he's ruled out.
Oh, he's out too?
He is out. And
he's out. Wait a minute, he's out for Miami?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
He is the Miami's running back, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is out. And Devon Achane,
something like that,
is listed as questionable. So
I think they just playing with Buffalo.
Well, I don't know. They ruled the back out. So
he might be out because they have to, they have to report that. But the other guy being questionable, they just trying to make Buffalo nervous.
Is that right? Well, we will see.
I'm trying to figure out. I can't remember who got hurt last week. It was somebody pretty significant, but I can't remember. Well, we know CMC is on the sideline watching, with no surprises there because bless his heart, he stay hurt.
CMC.
Christian McCaffrey.
Thank you for sharing that.
Well, everybody else knew who I was talking about because that's how they refer to him as CMC.
If everybody,
I know who it was. Puka Nacua is out for the Rams.
What is wrong with him?
I don't know what's wrong with him, but they said they were moving him to the to injured reserve.
Did he play last week?
He did.
I think he got injured then.
It says knee sprain.
Yeah. I think I vaguely remember something happened.
I know it was somebody else. And then there is somebody else that was injured and went out. So Puka's out. CMC is out. I'm trying to think who else got hurt.
Yeah. Well, while you think about that, I do want to give my condolences to the Lions family, Detroit Lions football family, as well as Joe Smith family. Joe Smith, who was a legend, Hall of Fame for the Lions years ago, died at the age of 92. So our condolences to his family and the team.
And all those who knew him.
Yes, yes. All right. So you were talking about other injuries.
Other injuries. So let's see. We say we got. What's going on with Jamar Chase? Let's skip to that.
Did they ever? They did come to. He played last game, and he did okay. You know, he didn't get any big points, but he got a decent amount of points because the guy that I was playing, he had him.
Oh, okay.
He didn't. I think he had about 11 points from him, which was pretty good.
Alvin Kamara for the Saints is out. Is inactive. I don't know what happened. And then they say Brandon Cooks is sick, but he's expected to play.
He's not too sick, man.
I mean, how you gonna get? Come on now, it's the second week. That's like getting hurt or on your second day at a new job.
Hey, did you know that MIT did a study on whether fantasy football, like people picking the teams and adjusting the players per game, whether it was luck or skill?
What did it come up with? Luck?
Well, they said a dash of luck, but a large amount of skill. So they
Really?
determine it as skill.
Wait a minute.
Looking at the statistics
Oh,
and doing
okay.
the research on the player to choose the right players and to start the right team. But I just thought that was interesting that MIT, I won't say wasted money, but I think they could have did better with their money on instead of trying to figure out.
Somebody wanted to know that.
Well, you know, with all those MIT brainiacs, that
It was probably one of their projects, and so they picked something that they was interested in. That's how research gets done anyway.
Right. Well, I'm sure a lot of sports folks appreciate the research that they did.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And the U.S. Open, do we know whatever happened with the U.S. Open?
I do not.
The outcome of the U.S. Open? We got to figure out what happened with that, too, because I believe that's over with now as well. And, oh, God, how do you say his name?
Oh.
Typho, the tennis player from here, from Hyattsville or Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because he was doing good for a while, but I don't know how that turned out.
Mm.
Everything's about to be all football.
Right. It is that time of the year.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, it's just amazed me, though, with the fantasy, how much money that generates. And a lot of cities are starting to allow the sports betting and all that, which coincides with the fantasy league.
Well, I mean, here in Maryland, Charles County, they get Super Bowl Monday off or...
Oh, they're county employees.
Yeah.
I don't know if you say that now, it's going to be on blast, and they go take a look at that.
Well, their commissioners voted on it. Don't y'all hate? Maybe they can get something started. Maybe other small counties will follow.
Well, heck, half the time people don't come to work after
People
they
ain't come
take
to
the
work
day
anyway.
off.
Especially if their team is in there, you can
Right.
just forget it. They ain't coming.
Right.
They're not coming. So they might as well go ahead and make. The problem is then you got to do it for all sports. Like, you know, for the people who say, well, I ain't a football fan.
Right.
I'm a soccer fan. And the World Cup is
Right.
Tuesday, you know, so I want Wednesday off. You get into that.
Sometimes it pays to be quiet because even if you're not a Super Bowl fan, you get that day
Right.
off.
You still get the day.
And then if you make enough noise, they say, okay, no days.
Okay, we tried it. We was trying to give y'all a little morale boost, but you know, it's always got to be a complainer. And so guess what? We taking it all back. Everybody come to work.
Yes.
Oh, you know who had the highest points? I know who it was. It was Tampa Bay against Washington.
Highest points.
Scored the highest points for the first week. The team that scored the highest points. I believe it was Tampa Bay against the Commanders.
What? You talking about
last week in the football game.
Are you talking their actual points or fantasy? What are we talking here?
The actual points.
Oh, okay. Was it them? I thought
No. It was New Orleans.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I say New Orleans had a great game. They were
New
killing.
Orleans. It was New Orleans.
They
New
had like
Orleans
40-some points.
Yeah, 47. I knew 47 was the number. I just didn't know who had it. So it was New Orleans against Carolina. Oh, poor Bryce Hall, bless his heart.
I know.
Not Hall, Bryce Young. Bryce Young.
He's going to have a tough season.
Ooh, he's going to have a real tough
First
season.
game didn't look too hot for that team.
Yeah, but they don't have anybody. They are for real in a rebuilding mode.
Hey, my thing is, you're a pro. Suck it up and step up to the plate.
He's got a draft wide receiver, someone that they drafted in that position, but I don't think they have any veterans on that team. So yeah, they are really rebuilding.
And who do they play this weekend?
This weekend they play
the
Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers. Because I hope
Panthers play the Chargers, Carolina and San Diego. Yep. 6.5 point underdog. The Panthers are, but I don't think it's gonna help.
Yeah, they pretty much stated that Bryce Young had an ugly performance last week. So hopefully he can make up for it this week.
Yeah, so
I was surprised with the Saints because I didn't give them high fantasy points because we're in this pick'em league, and basically you pick a team to win, and you're giving them confidence points from 1 to 16. And the rub on this is that you got to take into account the spread, whether who's favored and who's not, to add into picking a team. For example, if Miami is a +7, and who are they playing? Who is Miami playing?
Today, Buffalo.
And Buffalo is a -7. That means that you're saying Buffalo is going to definitely beat them by a touchdown, but you're also giving Miami a touchdown towards whatever their final points. So if they have 10 that they scored, you add that 7 with it, give them 17. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, you know who else got hurt? I know it. Jordan Love.
Yep.
Jordan Love is out.
3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, 3 to 6 weeks. I knew it was somebody else that was significant.
He definitely is. Who is the backup?
I still don't know.
Is it Darnold?
No, Sam Darnold is at the Vikings. Oh. And he's the starting quarterback at the Vikings. I don't know who is the backup. Oh, no, here it is right here. Malik Willis. Packers QB Malik Willis admits he's in overdrive as he prepares. No, it just says Packers quarterback Malik Willis admits he's in overdrive as he prepares to face the Colts. So I don't know what in overdrive means.
But how long has he been like, you know?
I don't, because Green Bay probably got a line of quarterbacks that are just waiting for their turn, So I don't know how long he's been there or really what he can do. I guess we're going to find out.
Well, if someone out there does not have a quarterback, take a chance, because one thing to remember when you're picking some of these players who are either a rookie or coming off the bench, there's not film footage on that individual. So it might be a little bit difficult to devise a plan to stop that person. Just like Purdy, when he first started, they didn't have a lot of footage on him. Then as he played more and more, they were able to develop it and defend against some of the things that he does. So
I guess the Cowboys play the Saints this week.
Yeah.
The Saints are having to move their practices and everything because of the hurricane.
Because of the storm, yeah.
So I don't know if they're in Dallas preparing or if they're in another state. If they're in the state north somewhere, but they decided to spend Wednesday night at team headquarters as Hurricane Francis struck, trying to figure out if it would be safer or more productive than trying to commute home.
Hopefully they travel to Dallas.
Hopefully they can get out, because last I heard there was no, if you were in New Orleans, you were going to be there because there was no planes coming in and no planes going
Well,
out.
maybe,
So I don't know if the airport has reopened yet.
or maybe they have to go farther out to an airport elsewhere.
They might have to bus them to another airport.
Yeah,
Usually from New Orleans, they go to like Houston.
there you go.
That's the closest.
Hell, if they go to Houston, they might as well just drive to Dallas.
And if you go, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know, but that's something else that we want to say to keep all of those in the line of Hurricane Francis and
Definitely.
the lower coastal areas of Louisiana, Texas,
All that
Alabama.
Gulf Coast area, and all over to even Florida.
Hoping that you
parts
all
of
are
that.
safe
So,
and that your families are intact and together. And always remember, possessions can be replaced. The
yes.
important thing is that you have each other.
Yes, definitely. All right. So hopefully, for our listeners, your team that you root for is starting off pretty good for the season. If not, got 17 more games? And so you got a long season. Even though football is short, you have a long season. And unfortunately, injuries happen early and in some cases late, can change the whole dynamics of a team.
Yeah, what you always say is not how you start, it's how you finish.
That's it. Because, give you a perfect example. When I was doing the fantasy last year and I won.
You talk a lot about yourself.
I do.
As
And
long as you know.
I started off like in last or next to last, but the second half of the season, I shot up and won the championship. So stick with it. Don't panic so early like some people that I know. They panic early in the first game, first 2 games. But all right, Darcy, that concludes our show for today. I just want to remind our listeners that they can reach out to us at memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. Leave us a message, comments, or just say hey. And also, if you want to listen to our episodes, some of our past episodes, as well as our future episodes, you can go to memywifeandsports.buzzsprout.com. memywifeandsports, all one word, .buzzsprout.com, or listen to it on your favorite platform that you utilize, whether it's Apple, iHeart, or whatever the case may be. And also, you can reach out if you don't want to leave us a message at yahoo.com. You can give us a call at 301-818-2306, 301-818-2306, and leave us a message. Any parting words, Dory?
No, just it's the beginning of fall, my favorite time of the year. So I just encourage everybody to get outside and enjoy these last couple of days before the winter gets here and get some green space time and some vitamin D and have a good rest of the week. And remember, your mate is a reflection of you.